Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and I'm back with another episode of my Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020 playthrough. Getting ready to start out my first season with the Penn State Nittany Lions. Just a couple of days in game away from our first opponent, which is going to be the Omaha Mavericks. Hopefully, hopefully that should be a good matchup for us. I'll show you the scouting report before we start. I think I'm going to play out this game today, just because I'm interested in just kind of getting a feel for the team, and I think looking at least one, maybe a few early on actual games. Watching the games play out, see how the flow is, might tell me something. But for the most part, I think I'm going to be simming game to game. I think that allows you to get through a season a little bit quicker, and I think it's more important that you've got your depth charts and strategies set than it is that you're, staying involved in the actual gameplay or the actual game when it plays out. And so, at least for this season, I'm going to see how successful I can be playing that way. But in terms of the schedule that we have, it's finalized now. The toughest part, of course, is going to be that Big Ten schedule when we get to the Big Ten games. We're going to start out. First game will be against Maryland at home, but looks like from the conference this year, there's Michigan, Iowa, Purdue, Wisconsin. Looks like 4 or 5 teams in the preseason top 20. So it's going to be a tough run. I'm pretty sure, but at least, like I've been saying, I feel like this is the next step I need to take, is get into a high prestige conference and see if I can turn a team around. But in terms of our non-conference schedule, we do have like a Caribbean Challenge, so it depends on how we do in that. We might play some tough competition, I guess, if it's kind of like a tournament. But for the most part, that non-conference schedule is weak. I'm thinking the only team that we look really outmatched against is Connecticut. We're going to be playing them on the road, but the rest, I think we got a good shot at least winning most of those games, unless this team is just really terrible. So, and that could happen. But today we're just going to play this Omaha game, and I'm going to go over a few things before then. And then we'll get going. And one of the things I want to address right off the bat is I covered recruiting a little bit more in depth last episode, and I have one scholarship available. And what I did, unfortunately, whether this is good or not, I got a 3-star center interested in Penn State as his number one school, and I offered him a scholarship, and he went ahead and took it, and we're already to the point where he's given a verbal. So I can't pull that scholarship. What I guess I should have really been paying more attention to is, these ratings, they will fluctuate, especially if you're talking about a kid who has yet to play out his senior season. And so what's happened, as soon as he gave me the verbal, his ratings and rankings started to just tank. So he is no longer the recruit that he was when I, offered him the scholarship, when I was recruiting him. And I'm pretty much stuck. The only thing I can hope for is that these ratings are fluctuating. Maybe he will fluctuate back the other way as he gets more playtime this year in high school, his last year at high school. But one of the commenters postulates on my last video pointed out that Brett Ohl is probably a better overall pick, and now he definitely is. He's ranked 29th in the region, 162. nationally. So that was a big dump. I mean, you can see now Brian Alexander, the guy I gave the scholarship to, he's dropped all the way to over 1,000 in the national rankings. So the lesson learned here is, I think for one thing, I was still in that mentality coming from Austin P, that small school, that I need to get, if I get them interested, I need to hit it quick because, with Austin P, you couldn't afford to get into competition with too many other schools. I think I'm going to have to learn that with Penn State and this conference, I'm going to have a little bit more leeway, and so next season I don't want to have a repeat of this. So I'm going to let it play out, and I'm going to make sure that I go further into the recruiting before I do this, before I offer the first decent guy who likes this as his top team a scholarship. I don't want to do that again next year. So lesson learned. I still think it can fluctuate though, and one of the things I did see with Austin P, there were times when I would get guys I recruited as 1-stars. They came to the team with more potential and even a better rating as a freshman than I recruited them. So there's a lot that's gonna go into it. I do like the guy's size. I do like his inside and outside shooting, A and B there. That looks good. He's a good scorer and a middle of the road defender. And a rebounder. So I'm not giving up yet. That was why I picked him over Ole. He was the poor free throw shooting, athleticism. I guess those are the things I didn't like about him. But yeah, his ratings have improved quite a bit. I mean, regionally, he's the number 7. He's nationally 29. So I was wrong on that. I thought that was like a regional position, but he's nationally 7 or regionally 7, so he should have been the guy I went for, and hey, I bungled that one, but live and learn. And next year I think I should hopefully have a few scholarships to play around with, and I'll get better at it. But that just goes to show you recruiting is really tough. I've seen comments on some of my videos already. Recruiting is tough with this game, and sometimes I like it, sometimes I get frustrated with it, but I think I got to give them props. I don't know of any other college computer, a simulated game for college where you're going to get this kind of simulation of the recruiting process, and I think it's a challenge, and for the most part, it seems to work. When everything falls into place. But I just wanted to start off mentioning that that was kind of a letdown, but I'll get by it. In terms of what I've been doing, other than that, I have filled out the depth chart. It's going to be a little different than I guess it should be, and hopefully going forward, as we get more recruits and some of these guys get more time at their positions, it won't be this way. But I felt like this guy, even though he's rated as a shooting guard, I think he is going to give us the best option at point guard. We only have 2 guys on the team who I feel confident going with point guard. Now next year we're going to have this guy who I hope maintains his ratings. He's a transfer in, but we're not going to have him till next year. But the true point guard we have, he is a freshman, has a little bit of an upside, but not much. And I think as the season goes on, I'm going to give him some time at point guard. I've got him rated for 12 minutes right now, but he might get some more time as we go along. But I'm running with Duke Pieper, however you say that name, because I think right now he's a little bit better with passing, ball handling, and athleticism, court IQ. As we go along in the season, may switch that up a little bit, but that was the biggest problem I had with filling out this depth chart, and I'm giving him a lot of minutes right now, 28. I expect to adjust it, especially if I see some of these guys just start dominating. I mean, Morris has the best ratings of anybody on the team, And if he turns out to be a great player, I may have to give him more time as a power forward. But my thinking is, um, being this my first year and wanting to kind of build the team, he's a senior. We're not going to win a whole lot of games anyway, probably. So I want to try to get some of these younger guys like Jennings, especially Jones, who's rated freshman, rated a potential 4. I want to get them some time so that they develop. Um, but you'll see on the depth chart, I'm not going with a lot of heavy minutes on these starters outside of Pieper here. I'll just call him Bieber. I don't know. For point guard, he's got 28 minutes. Um, for the most part, it's balanced, and this could change again as we go along. Center is the biggest problem, and I've only got 2 true rated centers. I'm going to be using Jennings, who has a little bit of size advantage over the other power forward. I'm going to try to use him um, at center, coming off the bench a few times. He does have some pretty good defensive rating potential, so hopefully he'll be able to give us a few minutes there. But I'm going with Sandin as the starter, sophomore who didn't play a whole lot last year, only averaged just under 4 minutes a game. But he has 4-star potential. He's, of the 2 centers on the team, I think he's got the size advantage, which I hope that means something. Clark is 6'7", Sandin 6'10", but man, Jimmy Clark, his ratings are really, really low. And he's a walk-on as well, that's why. But you got some things here like blocking and stealing. He's just a 1 potential. He's just a 3 defensive ability potential. So it may come down to, depending on how Jennings plays at center, he may get more time than Clark off the bench. But right now, Clark's set to get 16 minutes. That's probably going to change. But I want to at least get to through the non-conference schedule before I make really big adjustments on this depth chart. But that's how it's looking for now. I expect us to be an outside team because of the weakness at center. I think Robinson here may be one of our best players. He's a sophomore with a 4-star potential. I'm hoping that he develops as well. Coming off a year where in 12 minutes he's given just under 6 points a game. Kind of reminds me of Jepson at Austin Peay, who turned out to be our leading scorer and rebounder at times. So we'll see how that goes. And then for the strategy, I'm going. I think I talked about it a little bit last time. I'm trying to change it up a little bit with this run at Penn State. At Austin Peay, I was putting a little bit of time in a lot of these different buckets, and I'm just trying to keep it simple this time around. I think 5 out is probably a pretty standard outside offense, hoping so anyway. But I'm probably going to be going mostly flex and high post, and we'll see how that goes as the season plays out. I think I've thought about incorporating some motion because there are some guys who do have motion ability based on their scouting. But again, I'm trying to keep it simple. And I thought of the 2, motion and flex. It looked like most of the team had a little bit better experience and ability with the flex offense. So we'll see how that goes. But I am going to try to use it 65% of the time. But I'm just going to start out favoring outside for now. So let's go ahead, get started on some games. I think we're going to have some games already. Michigan State in conference. And then I'll take a look at how that went. Big easy win for Michigan State. Ohio State lost to Stony Brook. That seems like a surprise. Seems like an early upset. And then Wisconsin beat Arizona State. Now today looks like we've got Illinois and Rutgers playing. Let's see what happens with those 2 games. Louisiana State lost to Grambling. Wow. That looks like an upset as well. But take a look at those two. Close game, but Illinois managed to beat Valparaiso, and Rutgers loses to NC Asheville. Man, we may be in trouble today. So let's. I don't know what this red means. Is that might be some kind of preseason tournament? I think is maybe what that means. If anybody knows, if you're watching, let me know, because I've seen that a couple times now already. So looking at the scouting for this game, this is what our assistant coach, who's about a 2-star scout, I think. So he's thinking that we have a pretty good advantage over them, 64-36, and that we have the advantage in small forward and power forward and bench, for what it means, so for what it's worth. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna, when we get going on the game, I'm just gonna stay, and hopefully I didn't. Yeah, here we go. I'm just gonna stay kind of focused on outside for now. So we've only got one senior on the way my depth chart runs. Something I didn't really mention about it, but that gives me a little bit of hope too. A couple sophomores with room to develop. I think both are 4-star potential on those guys. But maybe if we get through this year, maybe next year won't be so bad. So offensive pace, I've got it really slow. I may keep it there. I'm just gonna let it run and see what happens here early. So we have a 3-point play right out of the bat, and then they have a 3-point field goal out of the bat, or off the bat. How do you say that? Foul trouble early. They've got 2 fouls, and we're 3 for 3 in free throw shooting. I'm hoping we're better than Austin Peay was. Man, they were a team that just struggled my last season with free throws, and we're down early against this team, and not playing too well. We're down 12-7, and this is what I mean. This is why I kind of stopped playing the games out. I got to be honest, because for this reason, I notice for whatever reason. I mean, it's hard to. I know it sounds like you're whining about it, but we're shooting 37%, and that was just the struggle every time I played out a game. I'm not touching it. I'm not changing anything. I'm not getting involved at all in this. But it seems like if you sim, you get truer results. And I know that small sample size, it's more intuition than anything. If anybody is out there playing this game and you want to run a test on it, that'd be interesting to see. But again, just more intuition than anything. But I've had times where I just felt like it was a different game. The numbers were a lot different playing it out than simming, and could still be because of me not being experienced with the game. But literally, I'm not really even touching anything right now, and I think I'm kind of gonna try to stay away from it as much as I can, because I probably do more damage when I do those things than help. But this should be really the same as simming it out. You're just watching. So it'd be interesting to see the final numbers here. I mean, we're hitting some threes. I mean, we're up now by 10, so we kind of got past that rough stretch. Playing pretty well. And Pieper, playing at the point guard, he has 9 points and 1 assist. So, it's if he's playing out of position, it doesn't seem to be bothering him. Good move there. That was Douglas. He's up to 5 points. I mean, for the most part, I'm seeing some pretty good stuff here. We're 6 for 6 in free throws. We're now shooting 50%, out rebounding 8 to 6, and it looks like Clark has a couple rebounds. I think he was the guy who was the power forward I was talking about. He was going to get some center time, and I can't remember. But we got a foul. That's just their second team foul of the quarter, but it's going to send them to the line or the half. And they're coming back a little bit now. It's a 7-point game, but good score there. It looks like we got some bench players out there now. And we're up by 11. Let me just kind of give the team some praise here. Hopefully that won't backfire. But I do have some guys on the team who are having some attitude problems. Not anything really big so far, but I want to make sure that I'm being pretty generous where I can be here. Not many fouls in this game so far, just 5 for them. But it's now a 6-point game. That was their 6th foul and a travel. So turnovers were 6 to their 4. So they've got the pace slowed down really pretty slow. I mean, the pace is actually less than half right now. And one of the things that I've found out and just in research and playing out, if you increase that pace, you're going to see some turnovers here and there. So it's still to Omaha. They're having a hard time shooting, but they're still in this game. You know what? I'm going to increase the pace just a little bit and see what that does. So we got a shooting foul right off the bat, and that's going to be 7 fouls on them, so we're going to the line now. First free throw miss of the game. We're 7 for 8. Up by 7, though. We're not really putting them away. And that's going to be a miss and out of bounds to us. 5.5 minutes left in the half. Turnover there, it looks like. Luckily, and that was a good 3-pointer. Luckily, their shooting has been pretty bad, or they would be a whole lot closer. They have more attempts than we do. But we're up by, that was huge. We're up by 16. So we're hitting some 3-pointers, too. 7 for 10. And we got 3rd foul on Wes Gomez. He's going to probably sit down now for them. And another miss at the free throw line. But another 3-pointer. 8 for 11 and 3-pointers. And Bo Morris makes a layup to give us a 20-plus lead. So now we're talking. I don't know if just improving that pace a little bit made that big of a difference, but we're shooting over 60% now. That's incredible. I may have to take back a lot of what I said about the sim being usually giving you better results, but we still have the second half to play. I think it probably has more to do with me tinkering with it than anything. I mean, I can't. That's the problem I have. I don't know if you guys have the same problem, but when you play out, it's really tough not to want to. You hit a 2-minute rough patch, and you start panicking, and you just want to do whatever you think it's going to take to change the play. But didn't have to do much in this first half. We're up 56-30. Bo Morris having a great game. Now, Bo Morris, I hope they address this in a future version. I don't know if it's a limit with the software they're using, but I would really love to be able to click on this guy here and see like his player card. But he is leading the way in scoring. 13 points. Robinson with 8. Really good balanced scoring. I like what Pep. I'm going to call him Pepper. I've been back and forth. Pepper is what I'm going to call him. He's had a good first half, shooting 100%, 2 3-pointers, 9 points, plus 19, and 3 assists, which I love, but 3 turnovers. Hopefully that's not a part of his game. Off the bench, Clark, 10 minutes, 3 rebounds. Odell, who is the point guard that I'm really hoping to get some time, play time too. really good balanced play. Everybody got a chance to play in that first half. That's good to see too. So we're going to go back to the game, leave it as it is, and see if we can have a good second half. And they start off right away with a three-pointer. I've got that pace where it was, so I'm going to keep it there. I'm not going to change anything with that. They are hanging in there with us with turnovers and rebounds. Good move inside there from Sandin. I mean, they cut the lead by 6 there early, but we're now up by 22 again. A three-pointer there from Robinson. He's up to 13 points. And Sandin, that's going to be his second foul. I don't think we have anybody in foul trouble, though. He's probably the closest we have. Probably the only one with multiple fouls, if I'm counting right. And he's up to 7 points, looking pretty good. Robinson called for a foul. So fouls are 2 to us, 0 for them. Still up by 25, up by 27. And they are really throwing up the threes. 7 for 26, but shooting just 32%. We're shooting 65. So that's really completely different than what I was seeing with Austin Peay last year, I got to say. So hopefully whatever feeling, my intuition, maybe it was just being with that Austin Peay team. I hope so anyway. Because ideally I think you should get pretty much the same results whether you sim it out or play it out, especially if you don't do a whole lot during the game. But the numbers here look pretty good. And we're playing a weak team though, and they're outscoring us this half by 5. They're down now by 21, but and still going for those threes. I think they're trying to catch up. Maybe they just don't have the 3-point shooting ability. So they got Craig Williams, their leading, not their leading scorer, but he's called for his third foul. He may sit for a while. No, he's still out there. And another foul. That's 2 team fouls for them this half, and we throw it away anyway. Just about 10 minutes left. We're up by 23. They are 8 for 30 in three-pointers. I don't know if they should try something else at this point. Maybe try something inside. No, well, they hit it. That's they're up down by 20, down by 17. Not too good here. We're losing a little bit of our advantage this half. Pass deflected out of bounds. The momentum is way to them right now. And there's a turnover there. 9 for them, 12 for us. So they're winning the turnover battle. But they have outscored us. What is that? By 9? Well, we're up by 19 again, by 7 points this half. Or is it 6? No, I think we were up by 6 at the half. So they've outscored us by 7. So 4 quick points there. That was pretty good. Bo Morris, his first foul. Another three-pointer. 11 three-pointers for him. And we come back with another. We're 11 for 18 in three-pointers. They're 12 for 35. And this is just back and forth right now. It's 18-point lead with just under 7 minutes. I'd like to get that lead back up to 26. I hate that we're going to be outscored this half. That was another thing that got me about Austin Peay. I hope it's not something that we see with this team. They have a good half. They're going to have a bad half. If they had a good first half, second half's not going to be as good, and vice versa. If they have a bad first half, usually they have a better second half. And a lot of those games that I was playing out last year with Austin Peay, we were making it close basically because of that, that ratio. We would have one good half or one, and then one bad half. So I would love to see some consistency. And we're back up by 22. Maybe I think they're having a hard time making the threes land right now. And now we're back up by 26. So we're going to score a lot in this game. So an easy first win for us, which is good. We're up by 30 now. And did he draw a foul? He did. But fouls, that was our 7th. But not a whole lot from either team, really, in this game. Oh, he misses the dunk. And they're going to be fouled again. Who was that? 41? DJ Hughes. He misses the first one. Makes the second one. So it's a 27-point lead. And they're going to be called for a foul. I really would, like I say, I would really like to hold that 26 or better advantage. It's going to be close. 29. So we do come back there to wind up having a better second half. But man, that's a lot of points first game. I don't know about the defense, although, gosh, 24 of 72 for them field goal shooting. I hope that means our defense was good. But they were able to throw up a lot of three-pointers, and if we're not hitting our three-pointers, at 57%, I mean, they doubled us in three-point attempts. That's crazy. And I don't think we didn't even go to the line in that second half. So that's kind of crazy, but great shooting, 40 for 67. Man, I love to see that. Great rebounding, 36 to 22. Turnovers were to them, and that could have been because I did increase the pace a little bit. I might see how that goes. May tweak that a little bit too as the game goes on. But let's see how the individual guys looked. David Robinson, turns out he's going to be the player of the game here. He wound up with 18 points. Morris, a pretty cold second half, but still, those are good numbers. And I think he is the power forward, or the small forward that I was thinking has probably the better ratings. That's a good balanced game. 6 rebounds, 17 points, plus 27. Those two guys had great games, Robinson and Morris. And I do like what Pepper did overall, but his second half was a struggle too. 6 turnovers and just 4 assists. So if I'm remembering right, I think he was at 3 assists and 3 turnovers at the half. So he didn't play all that great. Off the bench, Douglas looks good. Jennings looked good. Everybody got a chance to play. Everybody got at least 5 minutes, so that's good. All in all, not a bad first game, but not a quality opponent either. So it's going to get rougher, but it's probably going to be a while until we get into that conference schedule before we see that. So looking at the rest of the conference here, Michigan State, pretty close against New Mexico State. Ohio State lost to Pittsburgh, but they are like 0-2 now, I think. Northwestern lost to Wichita State. Texas A&M lost to Michigan, so Michigan wins there. Maryland lost to California. Iowa over Indiana State. Indiana over Memphis. Close one here, but Southern beats Minnesota 85-84. Texas El Paso over Nebraska. Purdue beats Harvard. And then Wisconsin, easy over Auburn, 23 points. Looking at the standings, Michigan State, Wisconsin, still undefeated, but look down here, Ohio State 0-2. And Maryland, top 20 ranking coming in, they've already lost a game. So could be some interesting stuff happen here. I will probably now take a look before we end the episode at the dashboard, because I really want to see how some of these guys, what they really did. So here's David Robinson. He's got some relationship issues. He wants to play. He got the play time there at small forward, so he's going to be the starter there. And then Bo Morris, power forward. 17 points from him, great game. So yeah, those two guys are probably going to be really good on this team. And then shooting guard, D'Elia, who got how many minutes did he get? 19, 9 points, 4 rebounds, not too bad. Odell, not too bad from him. I mean, he's a freshman. He got 5 assists, and I think that's only like 14 minutes, 4 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. So good shooting performance. So I'm hoping that he can develop a little bit, because I would really rather have a true point guard at that position instead of Pepper. But he's probably a better scorer than he's going to be an actual point guard. So, he's probably not bad to have there. Let me make sure too. Again, he's a junior, so he's going to be here another year, and then Odell is a freshman. It would really be nice though if he could develop. But inside Sandin and Clark, Sandin got most of the time, 9 points, 4 rebounds, a block still, and then Jimmy Clark. So 14 minutes, 14 minutes, no points, 2 rebounds, three rebounds. That's not going to handle it. So I mean, the depth at center is scary right now, and he's a walk-on. You got to do what you got to do. But now the other guy, I think it was Jennings, who I'm playing in that depth chart. I mean, he got 8 points, 4 rebounds, so that wasn't too bad. I wish I could break it down like into what he's doing in terms of where those points coming, or where's that play coming for him, based on his position. And I may be able to look at that somewhere in the stats. I don't know, but I'll play around with that. So next episode, I'm going to go ahead and get to this Maryland game, and hopefully we'll get through this I keep calling it off season, the non-conference schedule pretty easily, and go into the Big Ten schedule and be competitive. Our goal for this year is to make the NIT, finish in top half of conference, finish about 500. I would be really happy with any of that. Easily be happy with any of that. So finishing above 500, a lot of that's going to depend on if we can get through these games early, seven or so wins going into the conference schedule, we may have a chance. But this team, they've really struggled. I don't think I'm going to see. Yeah, wow, they have really struggled. 7-23, 9-22, 11-20. So I don't have anywhere to go but up with this team. So shouldn't be too big of a deal, but I still would like to meet the goals of finishing above 500. But anyway, as always, I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I hope you're still enjoying this series. I want to at least get through this team. I want to get them into a good spot before I move on. But if you got any feedback, I appreciate it. If you leave it in the comments, and I will play offline until we get to that conference schedule, and then I will be back next episode. Thanks for watching.